Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us for the first. This is going to be the very first one we've judged, isn't it? Live online. I have Oasis here with me as one of our lovely mods on the Discord server of Northern Exile. So if you speak to anyone on the server, it's probably going to be him, and or me, because I have a mailbag now, so I can actually get to you, and I'm not going to miss everything. Um, but yeah, if my voice is a bit weird and this is a bit late, I have been very ill the past week. Generally, that cold I had in the last few videos got a lot worse because I was stupid, I went out drinking, and I got exactly what I deserved. So, we're going to be going on here and going through some of your remits, your really nice painted miniatures from what I've seen of them so far. And the remit for this was an assassin. That's what we were asking for this time around, was an assassin. We are going to get to the normal showcase probably early this week, to be honest with you. And I'm going to do it I'm going to do it just like this. So instead of downloading everything and showing you everything as we go through, I'm actually going to use the Discord server so you can see everybody's names and what they've been posting up and things like that. So first is it Justine or Justine? It's Justlan, isn't it? Definitely Justlan.
I honestly have no clue. There were four criteria for the painting competition that we're going to be judging today on. Proximity to theme, quote unquote, is it an assassin? Originality, how original is it? Painting skill, is it well painted? And of course, photo quality. Though, in order to keep bias out of it, we're just looking for well taken pictures, not things like if it's an 8K photo or a 720p photo.
Yeah, because we don't want to be like, so this guy's got better hardware, so he wins, essentially.
Yeah, advanced essentially becomes pay to win.
I think what I would say is lighting does have an effect, though. So I think I would take
Certainly.
lighting into account because you can get really cheapo, light bulbs that we've seen. I think there was a guy on a showcase a few weeks ago who did a really cool Stormcast Eternal HQ conversion, but with a blue light, and I was like, oh, all right, how much was that? And he said about £4. I was like, okay, right. So yeah, it's within remit, but I like some of these. These are really really cool. So just Ian, sorry, yeah, it does say just Ian there 'cause it says right there, and the date is on it too. So I really like this one. This one was one of my favourites, to be honest with you. Let me just open the original there, see if I can see it. I'm actually going to put it in a new window. And go with.
There are two entries below. We'll get to those later.
Yes, but I really like the way that this is an assassin essentially sneaking up on somebody. That is something that I really, really, really liked. I also like the gemstone work. I just think that everything around this is really cool. That the glossy floor as well is superb. The way that it's done. I really need a better close up of this. 1 second, because
I agree. Definitely points for originality, and also just the general painting quality is pretty great.
let me just. Yeah. So I like the fact that this can't actually be used in a. It doesn't look like it can be used in an actual battle either. It looks like he's actually gone out of his way to actually
Yeah.
do something that's really, really, really cool. So I think this is
It
it.
appears
Yeah,
to be
this is
some
it.
kind of a diorama.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So it does appear to be a diorama. Let's have a little look smoother in there. So you can see now you got a much better picture of it. So I actually really, really like the way that the armor is done and all the highlighting is done. I think it's a really cool, earthy, bony colour. But you can still see the gold shining through. I love the fact that this looks like it's in a temple or somewhere that's actually got. It's actually run down. You have lots of autumn leaves on the floor, things like that. Um, I love the shield. Looks like a stone shield or something that's been really ornate and left there for thousands of years. So, as a thing, I think this is really cool. I also love the fact that the assassin's sneaking up on him. He's literally taking the remit to heart. This is the kind of thing that we're looking for. So, if you guys just want to know, this is the kind of thing that is going to be getting mad props from us because I really, really, really like this one. And going forward, you want to be seeing more of it because that'd be really, really cool. So, next. Let me go back down to here. We have a close-up of it as well. As you can see, really beautiful stuff. Assassin sneaking up on a guy. Bit of a bend in the assassin's sword, but I think that's either meant or it's already going to be there most of the time. Really cool. All right, thanks, Justine. Really cool stuff. And yeah, it actually looks like he's taken that from the back scabbard of the guy who's actually got the new sword, if you know what I'm saying. But I don't think it is. I don't think he has.
True.
But it does look like he's just sneaking it out there, and he might be just trying to run away with the sword, which is quite funny. But no, I really like it.
The gems, if you look at the gems from the front and the back, those green gems look really good. They really pop out.
Mm-hmm.
And also, if you look at the posing of the miniature in the back, he appears to be lunging forward with that sword rather than just standing there with it.
Yeah.
Which I quite like.
Yeah, looks like he's about to like dive up there and like try and stab the guy, which I quite like. Which is really, really cool. All right.
You also get a nice dog sort of look at it. It's a small guy attacking a big guy.
Mm-hmm. That is cool. That is cool. I really like this one. That's probably my favourite one that you guys can see on the screen right now. It's probably... Let me just take that one off there. And take that one off there. Yeah, we're going to be going down to... Let me just get my thingy out here. There we go. Yeah, so you guys can see it now. So, this is the one that I really liked. I really thought this one was super, super cool. The assassin literally running straight up behind the guy, ready to go. Really like that. Really, really think that's cool. So, moving on. We have Biome here with his Eversor assassin. One of my favourite kinds of assassin is the Eversor. Terrifying in terms of lore, but I've always thought that the model is kind of sketchy in what it's trying to get across. But when this model actually came out, I did think, okay, yeah, now we finally have this kind of a sickening, chemical-fueled Eversor assassin that can actually do some damage on the tabletop. And I really like this guy. I really like the way that the pose is made. I know it comes out of the box like this, but I also like the paint job too. The dark reds and the darker colours on these Eversor assassins really do bring out the menacing factor of the assassin himself. What do you got? What do you think when you're looking at this?
I certainly adore the vials you can see on the other side of his gun and on his arm. You can tell he's pumped up full of juice and just off his rocker full of drugs.
Mm-hmm.
He's ready. He's got that grin on his face. And he's going to kill.
Mm-hmm. I like the way that he hasn't. A lot of people, when they do these Eversor assassins, they extend the blades of the hand in how do I say it, a conversion. So they get something from like a Terminator set or something, and they start extending the blades. To me, that just goes against what the Eversor assassin is meant to do. He's meant to be quite sneaky. He's meant to go over there and just like sort of eviscerate people and move on, sort of a thing. But,
yeah, slow and fast.
Exactly, yeah. The fact that he blows up as well when he dies is hilarious. But yeah, absolutely fantastic work. Really love the fact that he's springing off of there. And one thing I wanted to point out that we haven't mentioned yet is the lighter shades of the red on the raised muscles. It actually looks like he's not even wearing a bodysuit, that this is just like flayed skin. It's not, it's a bodysuit, but it looks terrifying. It looks like he's actually got deeper recesses in his shins and just behind his calf and things like that, and his butt as well, like his actual muscle is actually standing out there, and his arms too. Brilliant stuff. Really, really cool stuff. I also really like the fact that he's put the vials on the gauntlet as well to make it look like there's poison in there. That, after everything, he's just gonna like slice you and poison you up, which I really like. So really cool stuff. Really like that biome. Well done, man. Well done. All right.
I agree that terrain is pretty sweet. If you look at the first image, you'll see those pipes at the bottom. It seems like he's used that nurgly water drip from those pipes you can see quite often.
Yeah.
And also that base genuinely looks like that piece of machinery has been sticking out of there and is part of the terrain.
Yeah. In fact, I think this could slap into a diorama quite easily. It'd be quite cool
I agree,
to look
yeah.
at. So, Bandon's next. And this is a Lichter that is stalking the battlefield. I want to get a close-up of it, though, because we got the... Okay, there we go. So, one thing I will say, the colours on this are extremely bright. And I kind of love it. I don't normally like bright colours on models. I like more muted metallic tones. But this looks like, I love the way that it looks like if he bunched up and like crouched down, he would only be exposing the darker plates and not the fleshy bits on the inside. And I really like the way that he's springing off of there, everything extended, ready to just clamp down on something and chew it into bits. I like the Cthulhu style of the Lichters too. I think this is a really cool model. I would love to see a model like this hanging from the rafters somewhere, like upside down, like a bat. But that'd be extremely hard to do, obviously. But this looks fantastic. I really do like all the colours. I like the way that you've used all the bloody sinews too. I like the way they're different colours, as in the pinks. I think this is a fantastic job. What do you think?
I agree. It's very well done, especially the edge highlights on that black armor, making it look less than just jet black. And also how he's made it contrast from the base while still making the base look quite good. It's
Yeah.
very obvious this is a brash of vibrant light coming out of what would normally be a dark terrain.
Yeah. So, let me just. There's another picture of it here, just down below. There we go. So yeah, we can see here much closer detail on all of the little bits that are folding through the flesh and stuff, and you can tell this model is not meant to be on this piece of terrain because obviously this foot here isn't flush against the model, isn't flush against the bit of masonry there. But I can really tell that this took a lot of work to get balanced on that piece. And as someone who's done dioramas before for different people, this is the worst bit. The worst bit, especially if you haven't painted it yet, because a lot of people put these on before they or after they painted it, because they don't want it to get messed up if it all breaks off and things like that. But that looks really cool, really imposing figure on the tabletop. So well done there, Brandon. Well done, saucy boy. All right, cool. Is that it? Do you have any more?
There are two above the original.
Right.
There's one by Atlas and one by Bill. Oh, right, and as well as one by Black Mage.
Okay.
So 3 more.
I'm seeing lots more above.
Yeah, the one by Time to Shine isn't painted though.
Okay.
And anything above Black Mage isn't painted as well.
Alrighty. This is Black Mages. So, let me read what he says first, because he's actually put on a description with his. So, the end goal of the assassin is to break the minds and morale of the enemy with swift strikes, sowing terror and mayhem, with illusions and misdirection. You won't see the Shadow Seer on their masquerade as they approach dancing across the fields. Cool. So, we have an Eldari assassin, and we don't see enough Eldari assassins as far as I'm concerned. I don't know whether people think it's below the Eldari to do this sort of a thing, but as far as I'm aware, the Eldar are a dying race, and so they should have more assassins. They should have more people who are willing to do the dirty work and kill at the first touch rather than getting into protracted duels. It's one of the things I don't like seeing on Dawn of War, like cinematics, when you see, Eldar dueling with Space Marines. That's not how Eldar would fight, because if they did, their arms would snap because of the actual power of a Space Marine. That's just not how they fight. So I love the way that this guy is angled upwards. It looks like he's surveying the battlefield, and he's ready to actually dive across and, pick out his target. It does look like he's on a craft world too, because he's got like a ruin there below him, which I really like. That's really cool. I like it when you place your models in a place and time, so we can actually see what they're trying to do and how they're trying to do it. I love the masks that he's got placed on his hip there, so we can actually change things across and have things on the way. It looks like he's about to actually cast a spell, which is weird, in a good way. Looks like he's about to just like lean up and start casting a spell. I really like this model, and again, we've got some really amazing, absolutely amazing entries. What do you think, Oasis? What do you think about this guy?
What I think really stands out on this miniature are those icy blues. If you look at the gun he's holding up and his mask and that jewel on his belt, you can really see all that effort that went into making those blues vary, but also shine when compared to the black and the tans that you see on the rest of the miniature.
Yeah, he has stuck with that icy theme. I would like to see... This model makes me want to see what the rest of the army looks like, in all honesty. Because if it looks like this kind of colour scheme, that's going to be one beautifully painted army, to be honest with you. Blacks and blues, Guys, if you're starting out, blacks and blues, you can't go wrong. Because if you add creamy colours to that and white colours to that, it sets everything else off. And the gemstone paints really do allow you to get the most out of your black and blue models as well. Mainly why mine were silver and purple, which is a bluey colour, obviously. So, that is Black Mage. Thank you very much. Bubbly Bill. Yeah, go Bubbly Bill. That's fine. So even at its height, the ancient magical city of Felstad was plagued by vampires. When the Great Cataclysm, aka Frostgrave, came, these assassins of the night were flash frozen and locked into a chilled hibernation. This lesser vampire in particular has recently escaped its cell, broken free by some unfortunate mercenary to be hunting treasure for its wizard employer. Okay, so as you can see, this is a new take on an assassin, which I quite like. And it's the fact that he's not even... he's not very stealthy. He's not very going out of his way to, like, not be seen. He looks like a tortured soul, essentially, which I particularly quite like. The one thing I wanted to pick up this model for is the way that the snow drift has fallen down on the base. Because the model himself looks pretty cool, but when I look at the base, the skull in the background is what got my attention. My attention was immediately drawn towards it. And the other thing is, if you look at the floor where the blood is, I love the fact that for once, somebody has actually thought about the space that their model is inhabiting. The blood is coming from the hand and from the mouth onto the floor. And I think that's a great way of looking at things. What do you think about this guy?
I agree. I especially love the blood, and of course the snow, seeing as I'm somebody who paints a lot of snow miniatures. I like how the light and colors on the miniature itself is a bit colder, kind of showing off an overcast, snowy day, rather than just being in direct sunlight.
That's a really good point. That no one... It's actually quite a... When you look at a model like this, and you look at like an Archeon model, or a Sanguinius model, or whatever, and people would sort of dismiss this and go, okay, it's just a zombie. What people don't understand is that the actual skill level to pick up muted colour tones for a dreary day with an overcast, snowy day is actually one of the last things you would learn as a professional painter. That's one of the last things you would learn is that. Because it's actually a very advanced skill. If you're an heavy metal painter, or you're going for a job at GW, they will look for skills like this. When you actually, know how to manipulate and understand light. Which is a really cool thing. Because people like me, we need light shining on our models in the right way to make them look even cooler. This guy doesn't. You can put this model in any single lighting that you want, and it looks exactly how you wanted it to look. Drab, bleak, overcast. Really nicely done. Alrighty. We have a few unpainted ones. We have Atlas here as well. So, Visor Kravixis Dark Eldar Succubi. My favourite kind of Dark Eldar. The Dark Eldar emerge from their lair of Camara, unseen and unexpected. They prey upon the weak worlds long forgotten to take new slaves in their everlasting appetite for agony. When you see these wretched parasites, pray that it is for the last time. Okay. Right, so we have a nice dating there as well. Alright. Let's have a look. So, low-key, I'm going to say this because I don't think this is going to win because of... I think I know which we're going to pick anyway, but low-key, this is my favourite model of the ones that I've come in so far. I love models that are in motion. Have anyone ever seen the Death Watchmaster model? It's my least favourite model Games Workshop have ever produced. He's just standing there with his halberd pointed straight upwards like he can't be bothered moving. He's just like, oh, God. He looks old. He feels old. Just old. Shite. And the reason why I don't like it is it's not even a metal model. Because you could sort of justify it because they didn't really have the budget to go and make really cool things like this back then. But this is a plastic, brand new sculpt just standing there, bored stiffless. The absolute opposite of this succubi. In motion, running forwards, running towards the enemy. Look of pained, I want to murder on her face. I absolutely love this. The only thing I would say, if I was doing this model, would be kicking up dirt from the ground as they're moving. That's incredibly hard to do, of course. That's the only thing I can think to add. The colours are beautiful. The skin tone is fantastic. It really does bring out the the orange hair and the different folds of the armor, which is apparently one of the things that Salamanders players really like about their models, is that their skin tone of a normal salamander is obviously charcoal black, and it actually brings out the difference between the skin and the armor really nicely. And I think this also does a really, really good job of that too. Absolutely fantastic. Let me move on to another picture of it. So as you can see, running from behind, my original chapter master was a Magos Space Marine from Horus Heresy running forwards, but it's quite an old sculpt. And Games Workshop didn't really know how to do models that are running forwards that have robes and stuff. So the robes were this like one big block at the back of the model, which is a bit shit. But this absolutely looks like the wind is flowing from front to back, and I love everything about it. What do you think, Oasis?
I am actually a good friend of Atlas, and I went through this process with him,
Okay.
trying to make him help him pick with these colors. And one thing he really wanted to do is make the mini match with the base. And I've seen that now in this final version of the miniature. Everything is very warm, and when you look at the base, it's a desert base. So I could really picture this succubi running across a desert, searching for any poor soul who happens to be stuck out there.
Yeah.
Also,
Go on.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, I really like what the whip, the green on there makes it look like it's some kind of like laser whip, which I kind of really like, because how else would you paint this really, North?
Well, in terms of the laser whip, if you're going to go for a laser whip, that was how you would do it. But for me, I'm a sucker for flames. And so, mainly because you can branch it off from the back of the model. So, I would get some liquid green stuff and apply it liberally to the back of the model, and then use a sharp object to pull it backwards, so that the flame's whipping backwards, sort of a thing. I wouldn't make it a red flame, probably like a purplish or greenish flame, spreading backwards from the whip. But apart from that, that's how I would do it if I was going to do something of that ilk. But I think the way it's done actually really does stand out, and I really, really like the way that it looks like it completely in motion. The desert base, I'm not a fan of the blue around the desert base. I think he might be going with the fact that he's on maybe she's on a lake running forwards, like a little pond sort of thing. Like a little oasis. If that's cool, then great. But I would actually go for. Do you know the Martian texture on base? That one.
Yeah, I use that.
I'd go for that and then build it up and then have like dust spraying backwards from that foot, because that foot coming up is just begging to have something just being kicked back in full motion, from the coming forwards. But if you're going to go for a base like he has done, brilliant work. It does look fantastic. It looks really, really good.
I agree. I don't know why the blue is there, but
So, I also had the blood on the front as well. I didn't see that when we first looked at it before, but that's fine. All right, so I think that is it, if I'm not mistaken. I think you muted yourself right over there, but I think that is it. Okay, the rest of them are not painted. Yeah, okay. So, the rest of them are not painted. Oasis, are you there to give who you think should be the winner, or are you not being able to reach your microphone right now? All right. So the winner of the competition will be getting some privileges on the server going forwards, and after this competition, I will be giving away CD keys for a 40k video game from the next time round. So I actually am going to be voting for Justine this week, mainly because not only has the remit been followed to the T, but he's actually gone out of his way to make a diorama of what we were asking for. If we're going to go for single models, my heart is torn. I love the Biome's Eversor Assassin, but I would have to go for the eldari succubi. But in terms of a complete piece, I have to go with Justine. So congratulations, Justine. That is a fantastic piece of modelling, my friend. I really enjoyed looking at all of the entrants. I think you all did a fantastic job. Please follow the remit, because we wanted to look at all of the things today, but we had to follow our own rules. So follow the remit, make sure that all your models are painted and done before they come into the showcase. A normal showcase, it can be any paint job that you want, but if we give you a competition criteria, please hit them if you want to be in the competition. This is fantastic, though, so really congratulations to Justine, and congratulations to basically everybody that we came across, because I was surprised by the steadily high quality that we got. I was very, very, very surprised. I think you all did a fantastic job, and extremely, extremely well done. Fantastic. And Justine, hopefully you enjoy your privileges on the Discord server, and when we do our first giveaway, I'll make sure you get a copy of the CD key as well, man, okay? So, thank you very much, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Oasis, are you there? Oh, there you are. You are there. Alrighty. Thanks very much, and thanks very much, Oasis, for making sure that all the things come in on time.
No problem. Happy to help.
Alright, see you guys later. Have a good one.